Samira Frasch is found dead at the bottom of her pool at the age of 38. Adam claims that he and Samira were back together again at the time of her death, a claim the prosecutor isn't buying.
This video contains the interview of a friend of Dr. Adam Frasch, who was found guilty of drowning his wife in their pool. Women, expensive cars, and fancy sunglasses. None of these sound like typical interests for an average podiatrist. But for Adam Frasch, luxury was the only way to live. Frasch married his third wife, Samira, in 2009, without telling her that not only had he been married when the two of them met, but he had also fathered a child with another woman. This set the tone for the marriage, which was full of volatile ups and downs. In late 2013, evidence of a new affair came to Samira's attention, and this seemed to be the final straw. She filed for a divorce, and the two separated. Samira told friends and family that she feared for her life. On February 2nd, 2014, the maintenance man noticed Samira's dog, Bella, was near the pool, where she didn't belong. He decided to go check, and that is when he discovered the body of Samira Frasch submerged in the shallow end of the pool.
We'll start off and just get you. I'm sure you've already given your information. Detective Shea or somebody around.
He was out to my house. I don't think he really asked for my number or anything.
Okay.
The way he got a hold of me was through Kindle.
H-A-L-L-O-C-K.
Yes, sir.
All right, Josh, what's your date of birth?
It's August 3rd, 1984. All right, you did
Okay, what's your address?
And that's Tallahassee. And 32317.
What's your phone number, bud?
And I don't know, I called him back on his phone, or I guess it was his cell phone. It comes up 559 area code. Just, I don't know if you try to call me.
Okay.
That's me, because I got the Google Voice.
I got you.
It comes up as a different number for some reason.
Okay. What, do you have any other phones?
No, it's just one that just,
Cell?
yeah, it just comes with two numbers.
So,
We don't have a house phone or anything.
who you live with?
I stay with my mom and my sister
Okay.
for now.
Where's that at, Old Wolf Road?
You know where Chairs is?
Uh-huh.
Capitola? It's off of White House Road,
Okay.
like a mile up the road.
Do you work anywhere?
Not current. I mean, I'm doing construction
Yeah.
off and on, but we're doing a training session for security guards.
Okay.
Something to do.
I got you.
My other place got robbed and we got shut down. So.
Alright. What, I guess, how do you know Adam Frasch? Is that
Yeah.
how do you guys meet, or, I mean, how did that?
Back in 2009, I moved to California in 2007. I worked with Kindle at Ashley Furniture. I came home in 2009 for Christmas. Sorry, I'm thinking footsteps in. I came home in 2009 for Christmas, and I went out with Kindle and Dr. Adam, and went out to dinner, hung around for a couple days.
Yeah.
And then when I came back home permanently in 2011, I didn't have anything going on here, and Kendall said, "Hey, Doc needs help." So I started helping him around the house, watching the baby. Well, it was hire only at the time. Driving him and Samira to Miami, all around Florida. Going to pick up cars for him.
And that was starting in 2011?
Halleck describes how he met Adam Frasch and some of the jobs he performed for him. Halleck seems like an odd choice for a wealthy doctor to choose as a babysitter, especially given the fact that the two men didn't know each other all that well.
Yeah, that would be November 2011, maybe. Yeah, 11. It was 2011. I'm trying to remember when I came back.
Right. So when you said you helped around the house, like what kind of things you do? I mean,
just, like cleaning up the yard, pretty much around the house. I would watch the baby, help them organize the...
Inside the house?
Yeah, inside the house, because he's a hoarder, and, just dealing with all that mess right there. I'd stay over, sleep over 4 or 5 days in a row, until, I don't know, I've probably been out for about 7-8 months, and him and Samira had a really big fight one night, in the house. She's throwing things, breaking,
She was or he was?
She was.
Yeah.
She's always been very, very violent. Well, I had recorded it on my phone, and I guess she found out, and she attacked me, or came at me, and I, bowed up at her, and she came at me with a big porcelain vase. I don't know if you've seen their house or the pictures of it.
Yeah.
So one of those, bigger items. She came at me, and I bowed up at her, and that was it for a while. I didn't talk to him for...
So, how long ago was that?
That was in...
Was it still 2011?
No, that would have been in around August of 2012. Yeah, about August 2012.
Okay.
And then for about a year, I kept in touch with him, but I was never around them. Because she saw that, one, that I'd seen how she was acting, and this wasn't the first occasion. There was multiple times before that. And this is the first time where she came at me like that. So, and around August, I think, of last year, I started talking to him again because they were going through a rough patch at the time. And, I was working, but I'd, hang out with him, or...
Where would y'all usually hang out at?
No, I'm saying, I would at his office in Thomasville.
Yeah.
And then in town, we'd meet up and have lunch, or not lunch, dinner. Then we'd go to Calico Jack's or whatever. And then everything just kept escalating between them. And
is this, when you say kept escalating, is this things that he told you, or just things that you've seen?
Things I've seen and witnessed, well, just like in court, I went to court to tell them or testify against her violence, and Child and Family Services called me, and I gave them statements that, she knew that only I knew, had seen, and she was, the other day she tried to run us off the road last week.
So, but we're kind of skipping around a little bit.
Yeah, I know. That's how it goes.
Yeah, I understand. So this incident where she came at you with a vase, that was around 2011.
Yeah, probably August 12.
2012.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you didn't talk to him for a while after
myself.
that.
I talked to him, but she didn't want me.
When you talked to him text or on the phone, or
just on the
still
phone,
meet up?
And I would, Kendall would be like a third party, Doc's doing this, or just tell him I said hey, and see him around. So about a year later, you said, is when you started hanging out with him again? Yeah, about August of 2013.
Okay, so you started hanging out with him again a little bit, going to his office, meeting for lunch.
Going up to court a lot,
Court. Did you go on any out-of-town trips with him?
No, out of town, not, because I was working at the time.
Okay. Where were you working at then?
I was working at One Stop Tickets. It was a shop here in town, and what was it, December, we got robbed, armed robbery, and about, 3 weeks after that, after I tried at the house recuperating and getting everything straight, I started helping out more around the house and the office.
Around the house again?
Well, Thomasville, no, the Thomasville house.
Oh, the
Sorry,
Thomasville house. Okay.
Cleaning up the yard, helping them out at the office, moving cars around, and, she's always telling him, you gotta move this car, you gotta do this, you gotta do that.
So he would tell you to go, or ask you to do it?
He would ask me to drop off, like, her Hummer. He had, I guess, taken it to Escape. It was the only vehicle that wasn't blocked in their driveway. And it was, what, Super Bowl weekend. He asked me to pick, he dropped the Hummer off at a gas station, had me meet him at the gas station, and I took the Hummer back to her because he didn't want her to see him and, you know, I guess, he didn't want to stir up anything there. So I dropped the Hummer off and got someone to pick me up.
The way Frasch wanted Halleck to deal with the Hummer doesn't make a lot of sense unless he is trying to establish some sort of history of being afraid of his wife. Of all the people he could have chosen, why pick someone he hadn't seen in a year?
Without her even, you know, being around her, just dropped it and left.
All right, so tell me about, you said a week ago there was a little incident. What happened?
Yeah, it was not, no, it wasn't last week, it was the week before that.
Remember what day it was on or anything like that?
You mind if
Go ahead.
I can tell you exactly. Because I text my mom to pick me up in the middle of Thomasville Road because I was not staying in that house. It was the 7th of February.
February 7th?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me what happened February 7th.
He had a rental car that we had to transport back to Miami. And I had the rental car. He went to the house to...
What kind of rental car was it?
Chevy Cruze, blue.
Okay.
That he had to transport back to Miami. He went to the house because he's thinking that him and Samira were going to go to Miami because they've been off and on, like the week before they had gone to Miami and things had worked out, and the week before that they were in Vegas, and he wanted, I had been with him the night before and we slept at his office in Thomasville. Well, I took the rental car to my house to shower and get a pair of clothes, and then I was going to take her back to him and, you know, either go with them or get picked up and leave. Probably an hour after I left, he called me and said, you know, Sarah's hitting me, she's going crazy, she's going ballistic. He's like, come get me. And I live, what, about 45 minutes away. So I rush out of the house and I get there and like he's gone, and I walk up to the door, knock on the door, and Hira comes. She doesn't recognize me, and Sarah comes up, and she's like, what do you want? I was like, Doc, call me. Is everything all right? She's like, yeah, it's fine. Call him. I was like, are you all right? She's like, oh, I'm good. Everything's real good with me. You know, like, you know, condescending, like, I'm not sure how to describe the attitude. But she's like, call him, and closed the door, and I left. Or I guess he had his phone at the house, and he called me from a separate number, the 313 number, whatever he's got.
You have that number?
Do I have it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. They're 321 888 9769.
Is this just another cell phone he's got?
So it's one that he had as a backup, just, you know, month to month.
Yeah.
Just in case something like this happened.
Alright, so he calls you and what?
And he's at Thomasville at the office. That was kind of like his home base since he wasn't staying in Gold Eagle, and his house in Thomasville is very livable. He has the Hummer, the white one, and he got in a Jeep that was on a U-Haul trailer. So he's like, oh, we need to take the U-Haul trailer back. And drop the Jeep off, take the trailer back, come back to the office. I'm in the bathroom, and he's doing something, so he's going to try and fix the dents in the rental car. And he's like, we gotta go. I'm like, what? He's like, she got there. Someone's got the Hummer. I don't think he said she. He said someone. Because he left it on in the thing. Well, then you see her pull around, and it's her driving. And he's like, she's got my bags, my checks, everything, his other phone. And she had my jacket, my keys, my money, all this stuff. So he follows her to outside of Thomasville. Well, he comes up on her, and he was speeding up on her because I was trying to call her, she wasn't answering. So he speeds up on her, and he's saying, roll down your window. And she just swings over, you know, and I was in the passenger seat, and that thing is about this far away from my head. I was like, oh my God, we're about to get hit. She jerks back and loses control and spins to the highway.
She does?
She does, yeah. And there's probably 10 cars behind us. I'm like, oh my God, what, you know. So he pulls around, and he's like, I gotta get my bags, I gotta get her to stop. She pulls off in the ditch and spins around and comes, you know, trying to ram him from the front. And he backs up, and it's like demolition derby. I'm like, what the f*** are you doing, dude? Like, relax, just stay back. And he's like, I gotta get my stuff. And she pulls over, and he pulls over, and she puts it in reverse, like she wanted to hit him from the back. Well, she stopped, and he got in front of her, and I got out, and I said, nah. I'm like,
where were y'all at?
I can give you a picture of it because I texted my mom a picture of the.
Were y'all in Leon County or were y'all in?
I don't know.
No.
Halleck has a picture of the evidence, which is proof that something happened, but not necessarily what that was.
That was right there. That's where I got dropped off.
That's in Thomasville, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm not doing none of this. Because I figured either he's going to wreck, or she's going to hit him, or he's going to hit her, and I was like, I'm not having anything to do with it.
Yeah.
So Mom picks me up, and I'm thinking we're going to see the truck homicide getting towed or the car and them arrested. Nah. I was like, how the do they have a demolition derby in the middle of a major road with at least 16 witnesses, and nobody's called the police, and there's no highway patrol?
Did they actually ever hit each other, or they were just...
I don't. No, she hit him in the at Golden Eagle. There's probably footage, or he said there's.
No, I'm talking about in the cars during all this.
Nah, nobody ever got hit, but it was really close.
Alright. So they're gone, and you got to ride with your mom?
Yeah, it took her about an hour. Well, I was like, my motorcycle was at his office in Thomasville. My keys were in my jacket pocket, all my money, my ID, everything. So I was like, I don't care. I'm going up there. I'm getting your stuff. Because she's like, I'll whip her ass myself if she's trying to keep your, you know, because that's where she's like, holding all this stuff. So we go to their house in Golden Eagle, and surprisingly, they met it there. And I was like, you know, surprised. Well, he's sitting in the car, and she's in the Hummer on the road. My mom asked her, she's like, Josh needs your stuff. She's like, if you don't give it back, we're calling the police. Like, he had nothing to do with this. Then she starts threatening me, saying she's going to take me to court because I tried to kill her, which I was in the passenger seat. You know, like, I had nothing to do with it. I get my stuff, and she's going off, and we just leave. And I talked to him later that night, and he said they drove around Golden Eagle for like 2.5 hours, and he finally got his stuff, and he left, and he was...
And this was all back on the 7th. February.
Yeah, that evening.
Did you ever talk to him since then?
Yeah, a few times.
Yeah.
You know, he what's the date today? I talked to him quite a few times because.
Today's 24th.
Yeah, I talked to him quite a bit.
Just on the phone, or did you met up with him or other since then?
I'm trying to think because I've been doing construction. And did I ever meet up with him? I honestly can't remember. I'd have to look at my phone and see what I text.
Have you been back to the house?
Since then, no.
Yeah, okay.
No.
Well, if he...
No, she said that she didn't want me around, and that she had a restraining order against me, which I never received anything about that, you know.
Did, since that time, when you guys talked, did you tell you about any other altercations that they had since then? Or?
I don't think so. I have to sit and things kind of.
Right.
I know that one was imprinted because it's pretty bad.
Right.
He actually came to my house, probably the next weekend and he brought that, the cruise over, and we were trying to fix because she ended up backing into it, and he's like, oh, we got to try and fix that. So we tried fixing it, and that didn't work out too well, and that's when him and her went to Miami, because he had run it through the mud trying to, you know, maybe they won't see it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, she got upset because we had to ride in a dirty car. You know, because she's like, I'm not running in a dirty car. And, but I saw him that day, and what did we do after? How did that day end? I rode with him. We went to AutoZone, see if they had a paint roller.
Mm-hmm.
We went up to Tallahassee Auto Clinic to talk about one of his vehicles. And we got another one of his vehicles from there, and I drove it back to Thomasville. Then we took the white Mercedes, I don't know if it's in the driveway or not, from Thomasville to Tallahassee. And I had my mom meet me at the Circle K there.
Mm-hmm.
And she picked me up, and I dropped his vehicle off, and I left. And
you dropped his vehicle off at Circle K?
No. I followed him in the rental car to his house. Yeah, I had it back.
Frasch seems to be making use of Halleck quite a bit at this point. It is possible that Halleck is one of the people that has received money from Frasch as a result of the Medicaid scam, and is therefore willing to lie for him.
There again. But I never went. I just dropped the rental car in the driveway, and I got them all and left. Because they had cooled down again. You know, they were about to go back to Miami, and everything's fine, and that's the way it was right now. There was hour of heated argument, and then 20 minutes later, everything's fine. You know, let's go to the casino and gamble, or let's go out to eat at Ruth Chris, or you know. That's when I guess they went to Miami that evening. So I'll look through my text to tell you the exact dates.
When's the last time you've spoken with him?
I spoke to him Saturday.
Okay. What time on Saturday?
At 10:15, he called me.
10:15 at night?
In the morning.
In the morning?
Yeah.
Okay. What did they say?
Alright.
Did he say where he called you from, or anything?
He didn't say where he called from. He said, I asked him how everything went with, you know, how he's doing, what all happened. He said it was a 45-minute conversation, so there's a lot in there, and the way he talks is back and forth and rambling.
Right.
I guess kind of like me now. He said they made it to Miami, returned a rental car. He ended up having insurance on the rental car. He said that they were they had fought, you know, because the car was dirty. But they were fine, and then I asked him, oh, what are you doing today? Because I was going into work. We had worked really late in Crawfordville. I didn't get home until like 2:15. And I was driving my boss's van to go pick up my boss. He was at church on, I think it's Blount Street.
Okay.
I had to pick him up at 11. That's when he called me at 10:15. He said, went to Miami, argued, I had tried calling him quite a few times, and he's like, oh yeah, I couldn't. I just turned my phone off because she gets upset whenever, like, sees my number calling. She's like, why is he calling you? He's a liar, and you know, just sure, quite a few disparaging things about me. He said that she had been drinking the past few days, like really heavy, because she had just gotten, this woman sold her a video of him and her having sex. You know, they're going through a divorce. He figured, you know, go out there and see all of these other options. But the woman had sold Samira a video of them having sex for like $4,000. And he said that when she saw the video, that he's like, you know, he could say that, yeah, I've been with this woman, and she'll get mad and angry and throw things. He said, but when she saw the video and actually watched it, he said she looked really, really hurt. He's like, I could tell that this really hurt her. He's like, I'd be the same way. If I saw a video of her having sex with someone else, he's like, it would tear me apart. And said she'd been drinking for the past few days. And then so I was like, oh, so are you all in Miami still, or because you know, Northern? He said, and this officer Shade kind of, I guess, was pressing me. I don't know if he said he was in Panama City or if he was on his way to Panama City. I know that he did say that he was going to Panama City, or like that was his eventual, you know, destination. I said, what are you guys, you know, what are y'all doing tonight? He said, well, Samira wants to. I said, Samira may, he said she gave him the children and she wanted the day, you know, the day for herself, just to, I guess, have some alone time or whatever, because she's had the children to herself this whole time. And he said she had given him the children and he was going to Panama City, and she was going to either drive there and meet him and they were going to fly to Miami, or they were just going to, like, I guess, fly separately and meet in Miami. He talked about the cost of driving versus flying. It would be just as easy to, or just as much to fly as to drive, and that's about 11:02 or 3. I had to go pick up my boss. I was getting gas, and yeah, that's about when I had to cut him off. That was pretty much the extent of the conversation. When I had to cut him off, I was like, I'm pulling up to the job. I gotta call you back.
Did you talk to him the day before that?
The day before that?
Yeah.
No, I didn't talk to him the day before that.
Okay. Is that the last time you talked to him?
Yeah, and then I worked and I wasn't able to call him back, and then Kim called me around, I guess, 5 o'clock Saturday, and said Sarah was dead. It's like, nah, dude, what I thought he was being either melodramatic or just, I don't know, hopeful.
Yeah, I got you.
But then I tried calling him quite a few times.
Tried calling Adam?
Yeah, I didn't know. I was like, what the heck?
Did you ever talk to him after you heard about that?
Nah, I haven't talked to him since. I talked to his dad a few times.
So that was the last time you talked to him was on about 10:15.
From 10:15 to 11. About 11:05.
Saturday,
yeah.
Okay. Let's go back a little bit. The times that you were at the house, just talk about Samira. You know, how was she around the pool? Did you ever see her get in the pool? Did you ever see her?
She couldn't swim. No, she can't swim.
I mean, did you ever see her get in? I mean,
no,
would you say she was scared to death of it?
No, she'd been around it. She'd come out there and she'd be near it.
Yeah.
You know, she wasn't definitely afraid or anything. Right. She just said she'd never learned how to swim.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see videos of her where she's laying in water, you know, on the beach or whatever, but I don't know if she didn't know how to swim or if it was just something she wasn't interested in, and it's like she says she doesn't know how to ride a bike, but she knows how to ride a bike, but she said it hurts, so I don't do that, you know?
Yeah.
That's how she said, I don't swim. Either she doesn't know how to swim or she just doesn't swim. I was like,
right.
But she's been around the pool.
Yeah.
I mean, It's not like...
So, just from your experience, and I'm not saying that you know one way or the other, but like the example you just brought up, that she says she knows how to ride a bike, but she says she doesn't just because she don't want to do it.
Yeah, like...
So there could be...
She's got a thick accent, she's got a language barrier.
Yeah.
I've never seen her as one, but from what I always, just in the back of my mind, a sense of something is like, oh, Samira doesn't know how to. This is what I would think.
Yeah.
But she's not afraid of water, I've seen her.
Alex says that Samira wasn't afraid of being around the pool, but he cannot reliably confirm whether or not she knew how to swim.
I've seen her in water, like, trying to think if she went in the, no, she never went in the pool. She's like chased the cat around the pool, like in a, running around the pool, like kind of unsafe. If you slip, you might fall in. But of course, she would think that someone would help her out.
So you've witnessed.
I want to make it clear. I witnessed her be violent multiple times. She's got. It seems like everybody's like, oh, he's a bad man. This woman, and I've told them in court, I told the CPS people, I told them, this woman needs help. She's majorly bipolar.
Saying that she's violent.
Alec cast doubts on the mental stability of the victim, which may have been Frasch's intent all along.
Have you seen him be violent?
Never. That's the thing. Like, we've been in his living room. He's holding Hyra. It's about a year ago, or before, what is it? This is probably in February, March of 2012. He's had Hyra, and she slapped the shit out. Scratch marks on her face. And he's protecting the baby. I'm like, dude, can you, we've been driving on, I don't know what the word is, from, like, Homestead to Miami, what, freeway, 6-lane freeway, traffic, 50 miles an hour. She's hit him in the back of the head with a stiletto shoe, like, multiple times. And baby's behind me. I'm in the passenger seat. I'm like, what the are you doing? You can't hit someone when they're driving like that. You're gonna kill us.
Yeah.
Multiple outbursts of violence, and nobody ever took me seriously, or him. It's like she gets brought in for a domestic violence charge. The charges get dropped. She beat the out of him multiple times that I've seen. She would drive very erratically, like chasing him down with her Hummer with the babies in the car, and it was like hitting his red truck. There's video showing her chasing him out of their complex, and nobody does anything about it. Like, I guess she puts on such a sweet demeanor to everybody else, but this woman would turn into a banshee at the drop of a hat. It was, that's all I can say.
I had just a quick side question I was just curious about. Why did he rent cars? He got like 60-something cars. Why does he?
None of his cars are tagged or insured, and he's a hoarder. Like, he hoards the vehicles. The car was, his dad had actually rented it for a time that he came down here, and he just hadn't returned it. He's got so much going on, he just rents cars. And
what, did you say, did you talk to his dad here recently?
Yeah, I talked to him probably 4 hours ago. He said they'd be here tomorrow morning at noon.
Have they talked to him?
No, he tried to call Bay County. They said they had him in the medical ward, and he couldn't talk to him until tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Or maybe
And you hadn't
Wednesday.
talked to him since he's been in jail, or he hadn't tried calling you?
He probably doesn't remember my number, and
Okay.
I'm sure he's got family, Daphne or Addison that he called for. He wasted a call on me. His dad did say that he tried to call him at like 3 in the morning, and then his mom pushed the wrong number and accidentally dismissed it. So he tried to get a hold of his mom.
When was that? At 3 in the morning?
3 in the morning, that would have been, I talked to his dad last night, he told me about it, so that would have been Saturday morning at 3, or Sunday morning at 3.
Sunday morning at 3. What have you heard that happened?
What have I've only heard that she was found in the pool at 11 to the news. I haven't heard anything about, autopsy reports or police saying anything, Whitlock saying that he's not surprised. That I don't see how, I don't know what his angle is.
Yeah.
It seems like a leech he's trying to make a name for himself or put his name in the paper, off of her death.
What did you think happened? I know you don't know a whole lot, but what do you think
Either
happened?
she said she saw the video and got upset, really upset, and got tanked and slipped in the pool inadvertently, maybe passed out, hit her head, I don't know. I think either she fell accidentally or she did it intentionally, or that she attacked him to the point where he had no choice and it was an accident, and then he probably got, going through this forest, how's this going to look? And he just got, upset and scared and ran,
Do you know what the latest car he's been driving, or
what car he would be in?
Yeah.
Nah.
What does he normally drive? I know he, does he have a particular car that he drives?
Nah, he switches. The car that he was driving, the last that I saw him when they were going, was that white Mercedes with the white wheels on it. I think it's an 02 with the body kit on it. All of his cars got towed out of his yard or driveway. So that one had tags, I think, or else he would have taken the Jeep from his other house in Tallahassee. What is it, Lennoxville? He would have probably taken the black Jeep or that white Mercedes. But he had keys to several of them, and
where do they normally keep the keys?
He keeps them in his bag. I don't know about, he's got a book bag that he keeps like 30 keys in.
Yeah.
He says that she...
It comes as no surprise when Halleck speculates that Samira's death was an accident or suicide. At the most, he is willing to believe that Frasch killed her in self-defense and then panicked. Still, he does end up giving potentially useful information about Frasch's vehicles.
He broke into the safe back in, I guess, August, and had all the keys, or once she got the house, that she kept all the keys, and he didn't know.
What does she do? She normally drives the Hummer?
Yeah.
What does she do with those keys? Does she keep them in a certain location in the house or anything?
They had a box, like a metal box that was in the safe. That had like hooks on it, but it was just all thrown. It was like an Armani or a Fendi, like box of jewelry would come in, I think. It's been like a year and a half since I even seen the box. There's a box, and they keep just keys in. What I know, they were all in the safe, and he said that she broke in. She says he broke in.
So the keys that she used for the Hummer that she drives probably every day, she keeps in a safety deposit box?
No, she keeps that like in her purse, but they have
all the other
spares and other keys.
So she normally keeps her Hummer keys in her purse?
It's just wherever,
or
like
throws them on the counter or something.
Throws them on the floor, have someone pick them up behind her. It's like find my keys over in the closet underneath your shoes.
In your conversations with him recently, did he mention, he said he was taking the kids to give her a day off?
He said she gave him the children.
Well, that's what I meant.
He was taking them.
No, I didn't mean to say that. He had the kids to give her a day off, whether he took them, whether she gave them to him, whatever. Do you know if recently he's done the same thing in the past, last few weeks or so?
They've been going out of town, and she's gone out while he's watched the kids as a babysitter.
In this past, say, month or so?
Say a week ago in Miami, he said. Or I can tell you about the Vegas one. Vegas, she went out for the night and left me with the children. It's not something like he's not allowed to have the kids. They've been out multiple times for the past month together as a couple. He's got a video on her phone where she goes off at him in Las Vegas on his phone. But, like the night before, he's watching the babies. She's out. Or
What about while they're here in Tallahassee?
while they're here in Tallahassee, he's spent the night, you know, like
Right.
stayed over multiple times. And I think he said he was he was taking the baby to get diapers, and she made him go get milk. This is like, I don't know, like what, Wednesday before, like last weekend. Like, not last Wednesday, the Wednesday before that.
Okay.
She's like, oh, I got a baby, so I'm getting milk and getting formula. And
So he's taking the kids to like the store and stuff?
yeah, it's not like she's not letting him have the kids and I thought they were kind of on the verge of reconciling, which isn't the right word to use with them. Reconcile would be just less chaotic.
Yeah.
And then this woman sold her first she sold her pictures and then she sold her video, and that's what kind of got everything crazy. But he said that the pictures brought them closer together. Like, oh, look at these. This is his language. Look at these whores. Look what they'll do. You know, you're not gonna find a woman like me. This is what you get when you go out and mess around. But then he said the video kind of, it went like all downhill after that. So.
Hang tight for me, man.
Alright.
In Halleck's opinion, the video is what sparked the whole event. It doesn't appear to cross his mind that if Frasch was planning on divorcing his wife, that video could end up costing him quite a lot in the settlement. Adam Frasch wasn't brought to trial until 2017, when he was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. His attorneys appealed the conviction in 2019, asserting that the conviction should be thrown out because the court denied a motion for a new trial without a hearing and allowed state prosecutors to introduce what they called hearsay evidence. The court chose to uphold the conviction. Thank you for watching. If you like this type of content and want to support the channel, there is a Patreon link in the description below. You'll be able to watch videos with 0 ads and some that are too controversial for YouTube, and you'll be supporting the channel at the same time. Thanks again for sticking around, and I'll see you in the next video.